It was Christmas Eve in the quiet town of Pine Hollow, and the very first snow of winter had just begun to fall. The flakes were soft and bright, glimmering under the warm glow of the street lights like countless tiny stars, gently blanketing the world in a pristine layer of white. Inside her small, cozy house at the edge of the woods, little Clara pressed her nose to the chilly window pane, her breath fogging the glass. She watched in wonder as her familiar world transformed, becoming hushed and magical. Her grandmother sat by the crackling fire, the rhythmic click of her knitting needles a comforting sound in the quiet room. She was finishing a beautiful red scarf. They say, her grandmother whispered, her voice as soft as the falling snow, that when the snow falls this gently, it's the elves brushing the stars right off Santa's coat. Clara giggled, her eyes wide with delight. "Really, Grandma?" she asked, pulling her gaze from the window. Grandma looked up from her knitting and gave her a knowing wink. "You'll just have to listen very closely tonight," she said, her smile full of secrets. Later, the old grandfather clock ticked steadily toward midnight. Clara, now wrapped in her warm blanket, with the new red scarf tucked snugly around her neck, fought to keep her eyes open. The world outside was silent, wrapped in a deep, peaceful stillness. But then she heard it. It started as a faint jingling sound, like tiny silver bells carried on the winter wind. It grew closer, and then came the soft crunch of heavy boots landing in the fresh snow. Clara's heart leaped. She gasped, scrambled out from under her blanket, and tiptoed to the window. And there in the moonlit clearing just beyond her yard stood Santa's sleigh. It was real. Its brilliant red paint glinted under the moonlight, and its runners seemed to glow with a soft inner light. The reindeer, magnificent and strong, stamped their hooves and snorted little clouds of frosty air that swirled around them. Then Santa himself stepped down from the sleigh. His coat was sprinkled with sparkling snowflakes that twinkled just like the stars he supposedly carried. He reached into his enormous sack, but instead of a toy, he pulled out a small, beautifully carved wooden flute. He lifted it to his lips, and as he began to play, the very air around him seemed to shimmer. A quiet, magical hum filled the night as the snowflakes themselves began to sing in harmony with the flute's melody. It was the most beautiful sound Clara had ever heard. Gathering all her courage, Clara opened her window just a tiny crack, the cold air rushing in. Santa stopped playing and turned, his kind eyes twinkling as they met hers. "Ah," he said softly, his voice warm and rich. Someone was listening. He raised a gloved finger to his lips in a gesture of shared secrecy and smiled. "Keep the magic safe, little one." And then, with a gentle lift of the reins and a brilliant burst of starlight, he was gone. He soared up into the night sky, where the snow continued to fall, still humming its gentle Christmas song. The next morning, when the sun cast a golden light over the snow-covered world, Clara found a small wooden flute resting on her windowsill, lightly dusted with fresh, sparkling snow. Thank you all for listening to this magical Christmas story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming tales. We wish you a wonderful and magical holiday season. See you next time.